Hey everybody, welcome back to JDM World. We just got back from California where we visited Universal Studios. A lot of people have asked to see the Universal Studios tour, so this is just a quick drive-through of the whole tour. It's long, but if you want to see what is on offer on the tour, check it out. Thanks.
On that, NBC.com, you can catch up there. Before we go any further, though, I'd like to introduce somebody who all very near and dear to my heart. He's going to be my co-host for this afternoon. You might recognize him from The Tonight Show, hosted by Jimmy Fallon. It's Jimmy Fallon.
Oh, hey there. You made it. Welcome to the Universal Studio Tour. I'm Jimmy Fallon. I'll be making sure you get through this experience in one piece. You've got the very best guys, Sam, and the greatest driver, Julie. They're the best. I love them. Even though Julie owes me $5. I know you guys are excited to get on the tour, but first, a few safety rules.
He's right. We do have a few safety rules to go over. First, if you need guest assistance or have a medical emergency, or if you drop something of value off the side of the tram or have any sound or video issues, reach up and grab that red E-cord that runs along the center of the ceiling of the tram, and I'll be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. Otherwise, during the entire tour, please stay seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle at all times. The studio is private property, and if at any time you drop your phone or just can't wait to use the restroom, pull that cord and remain seated. Please no smoking of any kind during the tour. Be prepared, our tour today features loud noises, sudden tram movements, fire effects, and many water effects. You want to have your cameras out for great photo opportunities, but keep an eye on them so they don't get wet. Finally, for your safety and the safety of those around you, please do not use selfie sticks while you are on board. Now the safety rules are out of the way, and we can begin the fun that is the world-famous Universal Studios tour. We're now making our way down the Universal movie timeline. On either side of us, you will see these movie posters. They serve as just a few examples of the over 8,000 films Universal has released since 1914. Our first film was released in 1914. It was a black and white silent film entitled Damon and Pythias. And since then, not only have we released 8,000 films, 10 of those have won Best Picture at the Oscars. In fact, these last Oscars, we had a Best Picture winner, Green Book, starring Viggo Mortensen and Mahershala Ali. Really wonderful film. And if you look at these posters, on the top of them, you will see the Universal logo. If you follow the logo as the timeline goes down, you will see how the logo has evolved in the over 100-year history since 1914. Now, we at Universal are so large that we have to have our own fire station here on our lot. Fire Station 51 over here on our right-hand side. They are on duty 24/7 to assist with and be the first responders to any emergencies we might have here on the lot. As well as a fire station, we also have a sheriff's station right here on our lot. So you are all in very good hands while you're at the park today. Now, Universal was founded in 1912 by a man by the name of Carl Laemmle. If you see Laemmle movie theaters around the Southern California area named after Carl Laemmle, he founded us in 1912. In 1914, he moved us from the East Coast to the West Coast, and then in that 1915, July 15th, 1915, in fact, was when we had our big grand opening as, March 15th, 1915, was when the studio tour opened its gates, and then in July 15th, 1964 is when the studio tour opened its gates. So this summer, on July 15th, the studio tour will be celebrating its 55th anniversary. So you are all riding the tour in a very historic year for us. Now you are all getting your first behind the scenes look at Hollywood right now. Right over here on our left-hand side, this is Soundstage 12. In fact, the elephant doors for Soundstage 12 are open right there on our left-hand side. You can take a peek inside of there. That's where we filmed for our hit scene competition, The Voice, hosted by Carson Daly. In fact, season 17 is going to be premiering this fall of 2019. So be on the lookout for that. It's going to be a pretty exciting season. Soundstage 12 is our largest and oldest soundstage on our lot. It was built back in 1929, and it's large enough to house an entire football field. Now, I'm going to have to bring up the volume of my mic down just a little bit as we're passing by soundstages 20 through 16. The soundstages here on our left-hand side. These soundstages are used primarily for commercials, but some of them, especially 17 and 16, we'll pass by them in just a moment, are used for a lot of network television. Inside of 17 and 16, we filmed for our hit comedy Superstore, starring America Ferrera and Ben Feldman. Season 4 is on NBC.com, seasons 1 through 4, so if you haven't watched the show, I'd recommend it. If you are a fan of the show, Cloud 9, the store within the show, the superstore, if you will, is so large that it takes up 3 entire sound stages. Sound stages 17, 16, and soundstage 21. We'll get to 21 in just a little bit, but for now, we'll see soundstage 17 and 16. The elephant door for 17 is open. It's a little blocked because of the set. The set is so large that it kind of fills corner to corner in these sound stages. But I, once again, would recommend Superstore if you haven't seen it. Soundstage 16, this last soundstage we're passing by on our left-hand side, pretty iconic soundstage. That's where Alfred Hitchcock shot that infamous shower scene in Psycho, where Marion Crane gets stabbed to death by, spoiler alert, Norman Bates. That was shot right inside of there on 16. Hitchcock was quite the fixture on our lot in the 1960s. We'll see some more of him in just a little bit. And then here on our left-hand side, this is soundstage 21, that soundstage I was talking about, the third one that we use for Superstore. You'll see how massive it is. This is another pretty historic soundstage on our lot. In fact, this is where Ron Howard constructed Mission Control Center for his hit film Apollo 13, starring Tom Hanks, Gary Sinise, and the late and great Bill Paxton. It's one of the most detailed sets in Hollywood history. They couldn't film in the actual Mission Control Center in Houston because it wasn't large enough for a film crew to maneuver through, so we built it with our specific modifications right inside of 21. Made for a great set, actually. If you watch the film, it's very detailed. Each workstation has its own knickknacks. Each extra got their own nameplate. Really fun time there. Ron Howard, once again, the director of that. So a lot of movies filmed here as Apollo 13, but the road we are about to drive on right here, next to sound stages 41 and 42, this road is nicknamed Sitcom Alley. Some of the greatest sitcoms of their time, such as Leave It to Beaver, Major Dad, Sabrina the Teenage Witch, filmed inside of these sound stages right here. Currently, inside of 41 and 42, we film for our NBC comedy Good Girls, starring Retta, Mae Whitman, Christina Hendricks. It's going on season 3. Seasons 1 and 2 are on NBC.com right now. You can check that out. Very funny show. The Mindy Project, starring Mindy Kaling, also filmed pretty heavily inside of 41 and 42. And if you remember at the top of the tour, I talked about The Good Place, starring Ted Danson and Kristen Bell. Well, right now, on our right-hand side, we are passing by the soundstage exclusively used for The Good Place, right here, soundstage 44. 44 is where we build the interior of Ted Danson's character Michael. His office is built inside of 44, as well as many other locations in The Good Place. So Good Place fans, there you go. And here on our left-hand side, this is another section of our front lot. These are our production bungalows. Back at the golden age of movie making, stars such as Doris Day, Lucille Ball, Jimmy Stewart, Rock Hudson, when those folks ran Hollywood, these were their dressing rooms. So after a long day of filming, they would come here to decompress and then head home for the day. Once star wagons or trailers were introduced into Hollywood, these became production offices instead of dressing rooms. So now these are nicknamed our production bungalows. We have some of the biggest names in Hollywood. Their offices right over here. Robert Zemeckis, the director of the Back to the Future franchise, Castaway, Forrest Gump. He has his offices right back here. Also Mark Platt. He was an executive producer on La La Land and is currently working on bringing the hit Broadway musical Wicked to the big screen. We also have Elizabeth Banks production offices back here, and the De Laurentiis production company, founded by Dino De Laurentiis, who made the 1970s King Kong with Jessica Lange, also brought Hannibal Lecter to the big and small screen. Their offices are right here on our left-hand side, Bungalow 5195, and that same office is the former office of the master of suspense himself, Alfred Hitchcock, the same man who brought us work such as Vertigo, Rear Window, The Birds, and Psycho, set up shop right there on our lot in the 1960s. Now folks, here on our left-hand side are our newest production offices, these gray building right here. They were built in conjunction with the two sound stages directly behind them, sound stages 22 and 23. They were built just in time to house some of the interior shots to Hairspray Live, one of our TV musicals. More recently though, we use it for the filming of Will and Grace, starring Deborah Messing, Eric McCormick, Megan Mullally, and Sean Hayes. Also, one of my favorites that films very consistently inside of 22, the one directly on our left-hand side. When we pass by cars 2, 3, and 4, you'll get a good look at it. It has a Brooklyn Nine-Nine poster on the side of it. We filmed for America's Got Talent inside of there, and season 14 is airing right now of America's Got Talent. You can check that out on NBC. And here on our left-hand side, this is our Metro sets. That's New York Street. In fact, I'm going to play you a little clip of my co-host walking through New York Street so you can get a better look at it, and I'll be back in just a sec.
Hey everyone, welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. Once got mugged over there by an old woman, tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey buddy, how's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City. Hey, I'm walking here. Hey, it's cool guys. I was just walking there. So it's not exactly New York, but a lot of times when you see New York in the movies, it was shot right here on the Universal Metro sets. If you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Even if you make it here on the Universal lot.
Going to drive through London Square in just a moment. It's some of our more European sections of our Metro sets. We're not going to head through New York Street today because this is actually where one of the major features are filming today. So when we circle this corner, I can't promise anything, but get your cameras out because you never know who you might see on our lot. As we head through London Square, though, Marvel's Agent Carter and Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., both starring Haley Atwell, film inside of this area. We use these yellow buildings that will be on our right-hand side to show buildings of Parliament. So take a good look at that in just a moment. And then, actually right over there, on our right-hand side, where all those production vehicles are, that's where we're filming, and that's all I'm going to say. Here on our left-hand side, this is called the trompe-l'oeil, which means to fool the eye. This big mural is used in the background of a lot of shots here in our Metro sets. In fact, this clip from Bruce Almighty starring Jim Carrey.
Race the dog!
I'm in the shower! So not like that was this film, right over here on our right-hand side, car 1, you can see it right now. You see those stoops leading up to the apartment doors? It's the same stoops that Jim Carrey is running down right there. I will let everybody else take a look at it as cars 2, 3, and 4 pass by, and then I'll point something else out. Okay, so you see the building in the background, kind of right behind the speed limit 35-mile-an-hour sign. That building that looks like just any other building is actually this painted mural right here, this trompe-l'oeil. So it is used in the background of a lot of our shots, but it fits seamlessly in with the aesthetic of our Metro sets. For any How You Met Your Mother fans, the show that starred Neil Patrick Harris, Josh Radnor, Allison Hannigan, an episode entitled Subway Wars, exclusively shot inside of our Metro sets. It's the episode, for any fans, it's the episode where the gang is racing to Lower Manhattan to see who can get to the steakhouse first. It was filmed all right over here in New York Street. The cool thing about New York Street, if you look on our right-hand side again, is one side of the street looks like a completely different part of the city than the other side of the street. So you can have one of our characters in our television show or movie be in one part of the city and then flip the camera around and put another character on the other side of the street and make it seem like a whole different part of the city. So we can make this set so much bigger than it actually is, even though it is pretty massive to begin with. We have a lot of space to work with back there. So episode How You Met Your Mother, Subway Wars, filmed right back there. For any fans of Colony, it was a show starring Sarah Wayne Callies from The Walking Dead that came out just a couple of years ago. The show featured aliens taking over a dystopian Los Angeles and putting up what they called a wall. This right here was actually used as the wall in the show. So we kind of use any nook or cranny here on our back lot to achieve a certain look that productions might need. And you see this brick right here. This isn't real brick. In fact, all of these buildings inside of our Metro sets are what we call shells. So I'm going to show you right now some terminology in Hollywood. We have facades, we have practical sets. A facade is kind of what this trompe-l'oeil is right here. It's just the front and sides of a structure. Just gives the appearance from the front, just where the camera can hit it at the right angle. Shows the audience everything that they need to see. Makes us think that it's a real building. But these on our right-hand side, they're not facades, they're called shells. What that is basically a facade on all sides and a roof, but the inside of all of these buildings look like that. So we wouldn't film inside of something like that. That's what a practical set is used for. A practical set would be like filming inside of a real house, but these shells, we'll use them for what's called an establishing shot. So we'll have our character walking into one of these buildings, like they're walking into work or into their apartment, and then we'll cut to a sound stage. And we just passed by our sound stages, so we can create the interior of just about any building or any exterior place, but for this sake of this topic, any building inside of our sound stages. So our lots is pretty all-inclusive. We can film our exterior shots right over here, and then just 50 feet that way, we can film inside of our sound stages. Here's one of my favorites to film inside of
when the
Metro
Pinto
sets.
fell and you saw it
Brothers.
land and make this big hole in the street, that was on the back lot. We dropped it from a crane. You dig like that in Chicago, not a good idea.
When people ask me, of all of the movies I've ever done, what was the most satisfying and the most fun, I've got to say Blues Brothers. We got to sing, we got to dance, got to drive, and trained with the best stunt people in the world, and got to be an actor and a writer. So it was a good piece of work.
Danny called John America's guest because just to walk into anybody's house.
During the shooting of the movie, John was missing. We couldn't find him.
Danny went off looking for him. We saw a light on in this one house and knocked on the door.
I said, sir, we're doing a movie down here. We're looking for one of our actors. Oh, John, yeah, he's on my couch. He came in, he had a snack a couple hours ago. He's sleeping. He was America's guest. I mean, literally that happened.
So we have a lot of fun here on our Metro sets, and some of the biggest productions of all time filmed right back here. Just in time for Marvel's Avengers Endgame, Captain America, the first Avenger, starring Chris Evans, filmed a little bit back here in New York Street as well. In fact, when we pull forward in just a moment, I'll point it out to you, we'll see the general area of where they filmed for Captain America. The scene in the first one, for anybody who's seen it, which I'm sure is most of us, after he becomes Captain America, gets the super serum injected into him, and he's chasing that agent of Hydra down the streets of a 1940s Brooklyn. That was filmed at the street that we are about to pass by. So I will remind you in just a moment. Also, Fate of the Furious, starring Tyrese Gibson and Vin Diesel, filmed back here. The more blue, modern-looking glass building. I'll point that out to us in just a moment as well. The reason that productions like to use our Metro sets in particular is because of how versatile they are. Like I mentioned, you can have completely different parts of the city at just at two different ends of the street. We actually had some of the greatest minds in Hollywood working on the design and the construction of our Metro sets. We redid them about 20 years ago, and we brought on a man by the name of Steven Spielberg, actually, to help out with our Metro sets, and he knows exactly what any given production might need when filming in a city, so he helped us out a lot with that. But just to give you a little look at what our Metro sets looked like 20 plus years ago, you can check this out.
Nice place, huh?
Found something.
And sometimes we even set our buildings on fire. Look at that. Now here's just one more look at a more recent production we got back there.
Good morning, Baltimore. Every day's like an open door. 360.
Swing me at
Musicals are fun, right? All right, we're now going to get a good look at that street I was talking about that was used in Captain America, the first Avenger, in just one moment. Here it is right here. That's the street that Chris Evans was running down, and then that more bottom-looking building in the back, that's what we used for Fate of the Furious. Also, American Ninja Warrior filmed right down that road, run the opposite course down there, and filmed all night long from about 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. We are now leaving the concrete jungle of New York Street behind, though, as we approach the jungles of Skull Island. Here is Academy Award-winning director Peter Jackson to talk to us a little bit about his creation here on the backlot.
It's the original King Kong that made me want to direct movies. I saw that movie on TV when I was about 8 or 9 years old.
Hello.
I wanted to become a filmmaker. I like films that just take you away from your real life and sweep you up in adventure. Kong literally does that. I mean, you're on board a ship, you're sailing to a lost island, you're encountering monsters and creatures from, prehistoric times. So I was thrilled when Universal invited me back to Skull Island. It was great to have you along for the ride. Now, we have created this 3D immersive experience, so you're going to have your glasses ready. Don't put them on yet, but just have them in your hand because we're about to return to Skull Island.
He's right, we are about to return to Skull Island. For now though, folks, please stay seated, keep those arms and legs inside the vehicle. We're going to wait out in this tunnel for just a moment. While we do, please do avoid using flash photography.
The Universal tram is winding its way through a very rough, narrow trail in Skull Island, allowing the visitors a little sneak peek at some of the wildlife of Skull Island. In a sense, this is like a mini sequel, a mini continuation. We are just taking the Kong and Skull Island and the dinosaurs that we established in our feature film. And this is, another day, another incident on Skull Island, using the creatures and the character and personality of Kong as he appeared in the movie.
And on that note, folks, we are headed in. Once again, please do remain seated. Arms and legs inside the vehicle, and flashes off.
Everybody, we're back on Skull Island. Give it up for King Kong 360 3D. Part 1, how we doing? Hey, Part 2, can we hear from you? Part 2, how you doing? What about Part 3? Part 3, can I hear you cheer? Part 3 on 3. 1, 2, 3, Part 3. Car 4. All right.
battle we just witnessed was brought to life by Peter Jackson in collaboration with his own production company, Weta Digital. And Weta is one of the top tier production companies in Hollywood. They've garnered several Oscar nominations and a few Oscar wins. They won most recently for their work on Disney's The Jungle Book. They know what they're doing when it comes to visual effects. And another pretty line with Peter Jackson and Weta is Andy Serkis. He's an actor that works a lot in image capture. He was Caesar in the Planet of the Apes trilogy that was done by Weta, directed by Matt Reeves a couple of years ago. He was also King Kong in Peter Jackson's King Kong, and he was Gollum in Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings trilogy. And he was featured heavily in that simulation right from there. So if you're not familiar with Andy Serkis, I highly recommend him. Very talented guy, works a lot with Peter Jackson. You might have noticed while we were in Skull Island, one of our back tram cars got yanked off the connection of trams in the jaws of a T-Rex. It was then pulled off of the cliff and onto the screen. Now when that tram car appeared on screen, it became what we call in Hollywood a picture car. Look out! Now, a picture car is any vehicle that appears on screen, whether it be commercial, television, or film. And since we here at Universal have been around since 1912, we have used thousands of picture cars in our over 100-year history. Possibly fit all those cars here on our back lot, so what we have are 18 of our most iconic, and here they are on our left-hand side. Starting out the lineup, we have Kit from Knight Rider. Next to Kit, Tom Selleck's Ferrari from Magnum P.I. Not a real Ferrari though, it's got a Volkswagen engine with a Ferrari shell. It was a stunt car, didn't want to damage a Ferrari engine. 4 vehicles from the Back to the Future franchise, directed by Robert Zemeckis. A few more from the live-action Flintstones, some of our more eco-friendly models. Several more from our Fast and Furious franchise. And there's a gyrosphere from Jurassic World, starring Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. The glass was digitally added in post-production. And then some of our more militaristic vehicles from Michael Bay's Transformers. This last vehicle here, that's a Bradley fighting vehicle. It's actually made completely out of plywood and steel bolts. All of the framing on the tank is just wood, held together by steel bolts. A lot of the more militaristic vehicles in Hollywood are usually made out of wood. It's a lot easier to transport and a lot less expensive to destroy, as they always do get destroyed. Here on our right-hand side, this is a Mercedes used in The Lost World, directed by Steven Spielberg. And then here on our left-hand side, this Jeep Wrangler Sahara used in Jurassic World. Those are 2 excellent transitions into where we are headed next. I'm going to let one of my good friends introduce it for us.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Thank you, John Hammond. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the world of Jurassic Park. All around us are sets and props and vehicles used in the filming of the Jurassic Park franchise. On our left-hand side is the mobile lab unit used in The Lost World of Jurassic Park, starring Julian Moore, Jeff Goldblum, and Vince Vaughn. We've got some visitors here in Car 1. Car 2, I'd watch those cameras if I were you. Car 3, watch out. Those are our very Dilophosaurus here on the back lot. There's our very own Spinosaurus on the left-hand side. Now, if any of you are fans of the Jurassic Park franchise, you'll know that weather played a very key aspect in all of those. And weather is something we have to manufacture here in Hollywood. For instance, we use rain, shoot it up in the air, falls back down to the earth more naturally. Lighting is used. Lighting is created using strobe lights, thunder is created in post-production. Jurassic Park and that franchise showcases that wonderfully. I have to turn my mic down just a little bit because we're actually headed into the second part of our tour where there is another major motion picture filming on our lot. Right here, this is Old Mexico. This was used in Big Fat Liar starring Paul Giamatti and Frankie Muniz. I'm going to show you the clip right now. We're not going to see that flood today because it's too loud for this production. Okay, I have to get quieter.
What?
Probably trying to.
Yeah, probably. Oh, look, Jaws. Jaws the cutest.
Stewart right there. That's fun. If you look on the left-hand side, just across this lagoon used in Creature from the Black Lagoon, you'll see sound stages 27 and 26. Those were used as some interior shots in Jordan Peele's most recent movie, Us, starring Lupita Nyong'o. Just going right across the bay there. And then here on our left-hand side again, this is Little Europe. This is where we filmed primarily for The Good Place, starring Ted Danson and Kristen Bell. This is also where the monster movies got their start. Movies such as Frankenstein, Dracula, Bride of Frankenstein, in the 1930s, all originally shot right back here. In fact, we'll see if we can just get a few examples. How many is Little Europe? So we have fun back there. Here on our left-hand side, these gray modulars, and if you look past it, that brown fence over there with the white patio, this whole area right over here is used for Hallmark Channel's Home and Family. It's a talk show that airs daily, Monday through Friday on the Hallmark Channel. It's a lot of fun, hosted by Debbie Matenopoulos and Cameron Matheson. I think they're filming there right now too. I think I'm being a little bit too loud. So we're going to head into Soundstage 50. Also, our tour is approximately at the halfway point. Just to remind you all, should you need my assistance for any reason, just pull that cord and I will be back to assist you as soon as it is safe to do so. And for now, please remain seated as we are headed into Soundstage 50. This is really exciting. We don't always get to go in here because it is one of our most in-demand sound stages here on the lot. Not only is it one of our only sound stages here on the back lot, it is also our only double-decker sound stage. The first floor is this underground BART system like you would see in San Francisco, and the top floor is the exterior streets of San Francisco at night. So once again, please do stay seated, keep those arms and legs inside the vehicle. There is a production filming in here right now. We don't want to disrupt anything they got going on. They were gracious enough to let us be in here. So, sorry folks, the California trip there, but there's nothing to worry about. It's okay. All right. Okay. Inside the vehicle. This might be the big one. Hang on to somebody you love. Car 3, watch out. Congratulations, everybody. You all just survived Earthquake. A real big one. Give it up for yourselves. Earthquake is fun because if you weren't friends with the person you're sitting next to already, you are now. That same effect was used in the beginning of an episode of Bones, starring David Moranis and Emily Deschanel. Here's how they used it. We have been through a very stressful tour, so I think it's time we throw our sunglasses on. Hello, they're just like us. We throw our sunglasses on and head to the beach. Welcome, everybody, to Amity Island. You might recognize that name from the movie Jaws, but there's nothing to worry about. As you see on the right-hand side, we caught the man eating shark, so we are good to go. My best friend George is in the water right now, patrolling the harbor, making sure everything is safe for us to be in here. That's a fin. That's a shark. We didn't get the right shark. George, buddy, how about you just come out of the water right now? Yeah. Hey, there's a shark headed your way, George. Just get in the boat. No. George, get in the boat. George, get in the boat. Okay, maybe he's okay, right? George is a no. That's really upsetting. We will be fine though. We're just going to stand here on the dock. We did attach bait to that yellow barrel out there in the harbor. If you love the sharks, they can grab onto that and get caught. So for now, folks, just stay seated. Keep those arms and legs inside the vehicle. Oh, he is taking the whole pier with him, and gasoline is spraying everywhere, folks. This doesn't look good. I gotta say though, our mechanical shark works quite a bit better than Spielberg's did. They faced a lot of problems in the making of Jaws.
That's much of the line shark. The shark was frustrating. It didn't really work all the time. It didn't work hardly at all.
Wherever you were on the island, you could hear the radio waves. They were always saying, the shark is not working. Repeat, the shark.
We just waited and waited. We just waited and waited and waited.
The shark was low enough for a while there. So I really overshot a lot.
And there is the man himself right there, Steven Spielberg, bravely sitting in the mouth of his own mechanical shark. But what a lot of people don't realize is that Spielberg was in his 20s when Universal gave him the opportunity to direct Jaws, and he ran with it. He took the shark out to the East Coast, out to Martha's Vineyard, because he wanted to shoot on location in the actual ocean. This was a big deal. He had never filmed on the ocean before. In fact, films didn't really ever film on the ocean. They filmed inside of sound stages or on controlled bodies of water. The ocean is very unpredictable. Because of this, they shot their schedule by over 100 days. They wanted to film for 58 days. They ended up filming for 160. They went over time and over budget, but Spielberg pushed through. He kept working with everything that was thrown with him, and then he released one of the biggest hits of its time. In fact, Jaws changed how Hollywood looked at release dates. Before then, movies didn't want to, Hollywood, movie companies didn't want to release movies during the summer because people didn't go see movies during the summer, they were outside. But after Jaws' massive success in the summer of '75, it changed how Hollywood looked at it, and now we get summer blockbusters every summer. That's a direct result, that's because of Jaws. So that's pretty cool. Here on the right-hand side, that's the Chicken Ranch used in Shout, starring John Travolta, and The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, starring Dolly Parton. And on our left-hand side, that is Colonial Street. That was used as Wisteria Lane in Desperate Housewives. It was also used in The Burbs, starring Tom Hanks. The reason we're not headed down there today, though, is because, wouldn't you guess it, something's filming down there. We have stuff filming all over here on our lot. And we actually have productions filmed literally everywhere on our lot. If you look on our right-hand side, you'll see these woodsy areas, and if you look on our left-hand side, you'll see more of the same. As I mentioned at the top of the tour, we're a 400-acre lot, and a lot of that space is taken up by these green, woodsy areas. Productions take advantage of that. A lot of crime shows, such as Law & Order, CSI, they will block off these roads, set up fake crime scenes, and make it look like an abandoned country road where a body was dumped. Another big-time production to shoot back here, Netflix original Bird Box, starring Sandra Bullock and Sarah Paulson, kind of took social media by storm when it came out. That filmed a lot back here in these green areas. So productions do love to use parts of our lot that weren't specifically created for filming. Other times, though, productions have to use production, sets very specific to their production. For instance, Whoville. Welcome everybody to Whoville, as seen in Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas, directed by Ron Howard, starring Jim Carrey as the Grinch himself. This was a massive production on our lot. It used 11 of our sound stages, used enough snow to cover 9 football fields, and the construction of Whoville required 2 million linear square feet of styrofoam. It's not an easy or small feat. We got it done. That's a pretty cool final result. Right next door, the Who's had to put up with a lot more than just the Grinch. They had to put up with Norman Bates here at the Bates Motel. After the filming of Psycho had wrapped, Alfred Hitchcock then had to send the footage into the American censors to get it approved for American cinema. But they had a big problem with one scene in particular. That scene on your screen right now, the shower scene with Norman Bates stabbing to death Marion Crane. The censors didn't like that, and they sent it back to Alfred Hitchcock saying you have to re-edit this scene, make it more suitable for audiences. What Alfred Hitchcock did was he let it sit on his desk for 2 weeks, did not touch it, then sent it back to the American censors, promising that he made the changes, and they didn't check it. They put his original cut into the final production, and that's what we see today. Now here on the left-hand side, the infamous Psycho House. Just behind that is the spectacular plane crash set from War of the Worlds, directed by Steven Spielberg, starring Tom Cruise and Dakota Fanning. This is a real Boeing 747, and for any of you airplane enthusiasts out there, this is a 100 series. It was built sometime in the 1970s. We're going to stop here for just a moment, let you folks take some pictures. While we are here, I'm going to play a clip. It's production designer Rick Carter and director Steven Spielberg talking a little bit about this set and this movie.
The airplane crash site set is a perfect example of a set that is all designed around the vision that Steven had.
When we first began to sit down to talk about War of the World, I thought, what if the 747 goes down right in a big neighborhood? Because it's just something you don't see.
You're doing good. You're doing good. Keep your eyes on me. Listen now. Listen, I want you to close your eyes, okay? Now I'm closed.
Robbie, get in. Get in. So yes, War of the Worlds, and that plane, it cost $60,000 just to purchase the plane, and it cost the production $200,000 to ship it out here to Southern California. So all in all, that plane alone cost production $260,000 and only got about 8 minutes of screen time. So it just goes to show you how much Steven Spielberg wanted that vision to come to life. For now though, we are approximately 10 minutes from the end of the tour and we'll be returning to the theme park shortly. Remember to pull the emergency cord if you need assistance and remain seated at all times. Right now I want to direct everybody's attention to the right-hand side. This log cabin was used in a couple episodes of Desperate Housewives. It was used in The Great Outdoors starring John Candy, and it was used in the final scene of Shooter starring Mark Wahlberg. And off in the distance, that big blue screen way out there, that area back there is called Falls Lake. Productions will film back there when they want to film for big water scenes. In fact, here's a pretty famous one right here. Sully, directed by Clint Eastwood, starring Tom Hanks. Every shot you are about to see filmed exclusively over there on our right-hand side. Productions will fill that concrete pit up with water, and then will digitally create whatever they want on the blue screen in post-production. So they can create an entire New York City skyline, or they can create the entire Hudson River right there in that small area of land. We are now, folks, moving into a major motion picture franchise. Welcome to Sullivan's Truck Repair, and welcome to the Fast and Furious franchise, everybody. The plot of today's film is that we are being chased by Agent Owen Shaw. He's after us because we have a witness aboard our tram who has witnessed one of his more heinous crimes. So we are going to wait out here for just a moment. We will get further instructions. Please stay seated. Keep those arms lengths inside the vehicle. Please avoid flash photography. All right, they're passing through right now.
Hey, yo! They just got here. All right, I got it.
Well, listen, hello, beautiful people, particularly you right there missing the third row. How you doing? You good? My name is Roman Pierce. Pleased to meet you. My buddy Hobbs asked us to stash you from Shaw for a while. So we brought you in our secret spot. We're having a few friends over. It's a little messy, but it's all good. The more the merrier. Especially you right there in that third row, like I was saying. So look, see over there? That's Hobbs' urban assault vehicle. Best truck the U.S. government can buy. But that work of art back over there is made by my man Tej. Think of it as like a Mona Lisa on wheels. Extra flop.
So did you break it down to them?
What's that?
You had one job to do, Roman, one. All right, look, guys, we're gonna keep Shaw from finding you, but to keep you safe, we need your help. We don't want the syndicate tracking us here, so put away your cameras and turn off your cell phones. One flash or one ringtone could give us away.
I need y'all to take this real serious.
Okay, pull into the next bay and we'll meet you in there.
So like I was saying, the third row, right?
All right, folks, we are now pulling into the next bay. We're not going to need those 3D glasses just yet. I promise I will let you know when the tour goes on. It looks like we're headed into a party.
FBI, don't move. Damn, that's right, party's over. You know how long I took to iron this shirt, man? I'm not. You're under arrest right now. Hey, just back up a little bit. Got it. It's lightweight. First of all, I don't work for you. Oh, really? Well, tell me, Roman, who you work for? We don't work for nobody. I suggest you clear out of here, otherwise we can't guarantee your safety. Guarantee my safety? I'm the one holding the gun. Yeah, but mine's a whole lot bigger than yours. Escort this novice out. Let's go, Cookie Puss. You got an ugly suit on, man. It's cheap.
Somebody out there really pissed off Shaw. It's gonna get ugly fast.
Yeah, don't worry. Lucky for you, our whole family will protect you.
Are you kidding me, Roman? You didn't shut off your phone, bro?
I gotta call you back. I'm in the middle of this.
See what I'm talking about?
Call you back. It was on vibrate. Sean traced us. I just can't hold him forever. Letty, Roman, we're out. Driver, move that vehicle. It's about to get real interesting. My Mona Lisa's all warmed up right next door. Roman, grab your truck. I need you and Letty ready to roll.
All right, folks. Looks like we are perfect. So please stay seated. Keep your arms and legs inside the vehicle. And I have a feeling now would be a great time to put on those protective 3D glasses.
This is our turn. After them. Okay, guys, it's showtime. I got the bull by the horn. Now we're moving.
Ladies and gentlemen, Fast and Furious Supercharged. Give it up for Dom and his crew.
You know, my Mona Lisa got messed up a little bit, but it's all good. We got through it. Y'all held us down. Appreciate it.
They said the bigger the family, the stronger it is. You guys did that.
Well, that is very nice of Dom to bring us all into the family like that. Folks, I am sad to say that we are now nearing the end of our tour, but before we get off, I want to let you all in on a little insider tip. Download the Universal Studios Hollywood app. It keeps you up to the minute on show times, wait times, and when the park closes, which is at 8 p.m. tonight. It'll also let you know when to catch Waterworld, a live SeaWorld spectacular. The next showing of Waterworld is at 1:45, so in about 35 minutes. If you haven't seen Waterworld, seriously, go see it. I highly recommend it. It is a live stunt show, one of the best in the park, so go check it out. When we get off of the tram today, there will be bins provided for those nifty 3D glasses. Be sure to drop those off. Don't drop your sunglasses or anything like that off in there. That would be a big bummer. And folks, our driver, Julie. Can we all give it up for Julie? She took care of us this afternoon. Thank you very much, Julie. She really is the best in the biz. And thank you, all of you, for being the most wonderful in the world. I really had a great time with all of you. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day at Universal Studios Hollywood, the entertainment capital of LA. Once again, my name is Sam. I'll be standing by the studio directory where we get off, where you check the wait times. If you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them. Also, I love high fives, fist bumps, selfies, all that jazz. Come say hi. You'll make my whole day better. Okay, once again, thank you all so much. And as we say here in Hollywood, that's a wrap.
Time to rock and roll. Bring the noise. What do y'all want to hear?
Alright guys, listen to the blues riff from me. Watch me for the changes and try to keep up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. She done already done the rain. She don't know that she done been
We used to be able to get off at the stations and do stuff, but honestly, they don't do that
Breakfast Club fans on the tram? Breakfast Club? Yeah, you're one of my favorites. Have a great day. I'll be by the studio directory.